to put our differences to the side and to say, and that doesn't make Chester, terrible, because guess what? Most cities, inner cities across the country, they need to be declared as an epidemic, because how is it that every inner city across this country is influxed with guns? How do we have so many guns and nobody knows where they're coming from? We know the victims, we know the perpetrators, but I have never seen a gun dealer on the front cover of anything in years, because I've been waiting for that. Where is that person who is supplying our young people with guns? And I think that we have a right to know that.
But I'm encouraged by the unity theme that I hear being spoken today, because regardless of what has happened, what needs to happen cannot happen unless we unite. Because no one organization has been affected. We have churches, we have mosques, we have community groups all across America, all across Chester, that are doing good works individually, but our individual efforts have not impacted our community to stem the tide of violence and death that is all around us. So unity is the only thing we haven't tried.
The older people had to go through a lot in their lives, but yet we still here. We didn't go out burning. If you march, we were taught how to march. We had to go to sessions, whether y'all believe it or not. And they knock you down off the counter, right down there in that Woolworths 5 and Dime in Chester. But Martin Luther King and them came through here, and they taught us how to do that. We wasn't burning up no neighborhood. What you gonna burn up the neighborhood for? You live in the neighborhood. Why are you burning up where you live at?
Dr. Howard Spivak of the Centers for Disease Control confirmed this when he described a new wave of research at a 2012 congressional briefing showing that American children living in high-crime urban neighborhoods exhibit higher rates of PTSD than U.S. soldiers deployed for combat in Iran and Afghanistan. That's our children. That's our babies.
The word epidemic, part of understanding how to change something is understanding what a word is. An epidemic is a Latin word that's made up of two other words, which is epi, that means above and beyond, and demos, which means the people, which means an epidemic is something that's above and beyond the control of the people. So when something becomes something that the people themselves cannot handle, it's incumbent upon the powers that be to make it so that we can gain control. We don't have control over it anymore. It's far beyond just going to the police and letting the police know, I know who shot this boy on the corner. It's far beyond that. So until someone is willing to actually look at you and say, if you come to me with this information, I can make sure that the person don't know you came back and told me, or the family don't have to worry about somebody coming and shooting up their house as well, and the children can go to school and don't have to worry about any repercussions there, then it's not going to work.
People, because you worry about repercussions. Yes. You worry about repercussions, or you worry about somebody, just coming by your house doing something crazy. But one solution that I had that I just like to put into the universe for anybody who may be able to do something about it was postcards. Sending postcards to everybody's house, anonymous postcards. Just do it like we get circulars and everything. If you have any information, just have date, whatever, and you just randomly drop it in the mailbox.
Trauma-informed care, better known as TIC, is an organizational structure and treatment framework that involves understanding, recognizing, and responding to the effects of all types of trauma.
There's been generations of us that have been traumatized. It is abnormal for a kid to know what a gunshot sounds like when they hear a firecracker, and to be able to distinguish that. It should be the reverse. They should be able to play in their neighborhoods and say, oh, are those firecrackers? Not, oh, get down, those are gunshots. It's dysfunctional and it's not normal. And as parents and as citizens of Chester, it's time to do something about that.
Okay, no one is immune to the impact of trauma. Trauma affects everybody, individuals, families, community, by disrupting healthy development, adversely affecting relationships, and contributing to mental health issues, including substance abuse, domestic violence, child abuse, and gun violence. Everyone pays the price when the community produces multi-generations of people with untreated trauma by increasing crime, loss of wages, we've already talked about, and the threat to the stability of the family. Being trauma-informed means recognizing that people have many different types of trauma. Your trauma might be something different than what mine was. Yours might be different than what another person's is. So it's all different types of trauma. People have been traumatized, need support and understanding from the people around them.
1, 2, 3, 4.